Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
Remember, John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently. Yeah, another beautiful shot. These guys making this look so easy.
So having a day. The Englishman 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Answer for the time being, at least. Now this is Abraham Answer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the open night lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Answer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
It's InGame Live Prime Time on a fabulous Friday evening. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours, right up until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, watching, betting on the world of sports. Ah, yes, it's a beautiful thing. We got college football, day number 2 of week number 1, not counting week 0. You can add that all up. We got baseball stuff to get to. We got tennis, a little U.S. Open with the major upset last night. We'll see if we get another one tonight. We got a little golf, obviously, with the FedEx Cup Championship. We have a system that we got to test over with Mr. Sharapan to see. He's usually the guy that lets us struggle with all this stuff about my beautiful trends. I got a pretty good one to go over. And, of course, it is the return of college football opposite picks. We'll get to it all over the next 2 as we welcome in our partner in crime, rocking the Miami Marlins outfit there. Very nice.
It says Arizona Diamondbacks.
Arizona. Oh, okay, there you go. They had you blocked out there. I thought that was Miami. I was surprised in Miami today. Okay, my bad.
Not Miami. Miami's got a tough one tonight. Yeah, Miami's got a tough one tonight. No, I wore the Diamondbacks stuff because I like the Diamondbacks tonight, and they're playing the Dodgers, and this is a really good baseball game. And there's a lot of baseball games on the board, but this is that time of year where people come into the book, and it's like, a family reunion. Hey, I'm back. Hey, college football starts tomorrow. I'm going to bet. How are the kids? How was the summer? Well, I've been here all along. Like, welcome to InGame Live. Like, he's Scott Wetzel, Opposite Picks. I'm Dave Sharapan, Sportsbook Consigliere. And we're here talking about baseball, which we have been for 5 months. Nobody bets on it after today, unless they're really maybe catching it midweek. I mean, it's crazy. It won't be on a book tomorrow, on the screens, anywhere. We'll have all the college football, but we got to get to the baseball games that are getting ready to start here. Royals, Astros. This is a American League playoff preview. I think both of these teams are making the playoffs. This will be a game that we can focus on. I think we'll have multiple leads back and forth. I can't believe it. We got the Royals as a percentage on the projection to be the play. I mean, really, Wetzel, that's a surprise, is it not?
Yeah, that's. I think Kansas City, Dave, can reach their beginning of the season team total this weekend. I think it was one of the guys on the podcast said it's like 75.5, 76.5. And I can't believe they're 75 and 60, right? I thought they'd be halfway decent, but not like this. Not even close, right? Who knows? Who told me they were 60 and 75, I would have said yes. So I don't get the computer here. We kind of been at odds with the computer a couple of times. Houston with Framber Valdez. Now, they did lose his last time out. I will admit that. But they're now 10-1 in his last 11 starts. He's at home. Kansas City 0-4 in Seth Lugo's last 4 starts against winning teams, which obviously the Astros are. I kind of like Houston winning last night. I kind of like the Astros here. I think I'm going to buck the computer.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you can get me on the Royals pregame. We'll wait and see. I'm with you. I think the Astros. It might be expensive.
Yeah, minus 180.
That's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah. Anything else pop in for you, at least in the baseball? Quick.
Well,
I mean, A's Rangers. This is a tough game. Do you want to bet on this game? I mean, the A's games are going over. They're hitting home runs. The Rangers aren't.
Yeah.
Ray.
Yep.
Sears and Roebuck.
Sears.
Ray and
yes.
Yeah.
Should be Sears, right? JP Sears.
Yeah. Do you remember Sears, the store?
Oh,
you
yeah.
Oh.
In fact, when we went up to Boston to go visit my daughter who's at BC, we went to a Red Sox game and then went out afterwards. And about a quarter of a mile, if that, from Fenway Park is a Sears Museum. Yeah, I kid you not, right? And it's a restaurant. So it's a hidden museum. So you got to be like an insider, I guess, to know it's a museum. So you go in, and it's a how do you explain it? There's about 12 restaurants in one sitting, and you just like in a line. Pizza, Italian, Chinese, like Japanese, right? That like 12 different ones. And then if you go up the stairs a little bit, out of the way completely. It's a Sears. They have old Sears products, like you name it, from the 1920s. It's like it's pretty cool. Yeah. So, yes. Long story short, I remember Sears. How about that?
That's all right. Well, did they have a play on the White Sox at this Sears place? Because, you need to go to a museum to find a play on the White Sox. I mean, why in the world would you play the White Sox? Now, this is the Mets portion of the show for our friend, Vincenzo. See, we always have the Mets graphic. I swear, it's right there for everybody. The pictures are there, and Francisco Lindor is there. Bet him to hit a home run tonight and take the Mets on the run line? Is it that easy?
Well, you can't look. We got burned last night, right, or 2 nights ago. They won Texas. Oh, it was last night. Texas won 2-1, right, or yesterday afternoon, whatever it was. It's going to happen sometimes. I can't lay minus 220 with 2-5 Tyler McGill. I just end that Mets bullpen. Can't do it, right? So you got to lay. But who wants to lay a run and a half with Tyler McGill? But to me, it's either a no play, and I told these guys, Dave, on the podcast, you don't have to bet against the White Sox every game. If there's a betting thing that just really doesn't, you can't lay over 2-1 with Tyler. He's 2-5. He stinks, right? But do you want to lay a run and a half? It's either a pass or lay a run and a half. 73 games now under 500. 5-39 their last 44. We've been through this. They don't on and on they go. So I'm going to lay the run and a half. I will do it.
Mets team total over could be another one that you could go after if you don't want to involve and needing the White Sox to get a couple runs to get the game over. Just take the Mets team total over and hope Polar Bear hits a home run. Another game in the American League that we have to discuss quickly is the Blue Jays and Twins. And I don't know. Sometimes you look at the board and you go, yeah, this one's got to be a play. And you check the price and you go, wow, minus 190? Gossman? We got to go against Gossman, right? This is what's going to happen in the books. I mean, it's the end of the month. It's August 30th today, and it's football season tomorrow. The favorites are going to get a lot more expensive. There will be very good betting opportunities while we're doing a show next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, to take dogs. I don't think tonight is the night to do it with Toronto. I don't want the Blue Jays. I don't know. This might be a total pass for me. Side total, everything. How about you?
Yeah, Twins are 2-8 their last 10 games, struggling.
Right.
You said it, Dave. It's amazing. In some ways, this is the easiest time of the year to win in baseball, win games, right? But boys in Vegas, they're not dumb. They know that. You said it. They bump. If this was in June or July, Minnesota 150, maybe 160, but not 180. I mean, it's same thing with the Mets. There are a couple of games that are just like I looked at, and then I looked at the line, just like you said. I looked at the line and like, oh man. So even though it's easier, now you got to do parlays. Now's the time. I know people say it's you're a sucker bet. I get it, but you can't like 2-1. Like even with the Mets, right? I mean, the White Sox are the worst team in the history of baseball, maybe. But you lose one game, and now you have to win two just to almost break even. You're still losing.
Correct.
It's like the Mets are either going to sweep or you're losing money. So that's why I said sometimes you don't have to bet against the White. Pick one game in the series that you think, okay, there's no way this is going to win. But it's tough from that. The numbers are crazy nowadays.
When we come back, you're going to have to explain to me if you're at some remote Caribbean beach location or where you're at. I cannot wait to hear where you're at. Looks great. Okay, this is fine. You'll have to tell everybody when we come back, after this. I'm very curious.
All right, that and the college football system coming up as well.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau!
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
I remember John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently.
Yeah, another beautiful shot. This guy's making this look so easy.
Having a day. The Englishman 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Answer for the time being, at least. Now this is Abraham Answer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the open night lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Answer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
All right, welcome back InGame Live.
Hold on. Welcome back InGame Live on the grid. I'm Dave Sharapan. Scott Wetzel will be right back with us. We are here discussing a lot of things, mostly baseball right now, but there's a full slate of college football tomorrow that I don't know. I can't wait for. But right now, let's just focus on the baseball. We got games coming up. I said it the other night when we were here and Scott and I were together. The Pirates lost that game and baseball season ended to me. And Scott is back. This is good. But we talked about it, and the Pirates were winning a game 10-3 and ended up losing 14-10. Tonight, they're playing Cleveland, and this looks like I thought this was going to be the Black Cloud play of the night. I thought you might come in with a same-game parlay with everything Cleveland, in honor of my boys watching the show, the Bomber and the Shrew. These are Cleveland guys through and through. I said, I think you could bet Cleveland Friday. I think you could bet Cleveland Saturday. And I think you can bet Cleveland Sunday. Let's get all the Cleveland stuff out of the way before the Steelers and the Browns start playing. And then we can no longer be friends. Like that's a big rivalry. But Cleveland tonight, yes. Tampa losing to San Diego, yes. Milwaukee beating Cincinnati, yes. These are all – Scott, sometimes you look at the board and it looks really like don't use much thought. Don't start too deep down, too many rabbit holes, and just pick a couple teams, right? Cubs beat Washington. Just one of those things.
Yeah, as we like to say, don't make it harder than it has to be, right? It's as simple as that. So you have those days. Now, of course, you'll have those days, and then you'll have days where, 500 dogs will cover as, plus 160 dogs. But Pittsburgh is almost an automatic. I hate to say it, Dave, but it's 7-19 their last 26 games. I did play Cleveland. The only thing I get they've lost 9 of their last 10 road games has Pittsburgh. The season is just falling apart. Cleveland's not playing great, but I did like this is kind of like a moment of truth for the Guardians. Like if they can't at home beat Pittsburgh the way the Pirates are playing, then kind of this is a moment of truth. So with Ben Lively on the hill, I did like them tonight. They're leading 4-0. It's almost an unbettable game at this point. So you have all the favorites kind of lead. The one I thought was a little strange was San Diego being an underdog at Tampa Bay. Listen, you got probably 5 people at that Tampa Bay game, and the boys in Vegas, give them credit for having home field advantage. There's no home field advantage. Red Sox leading the Tigers big. Milwaukee's leading Cincinnati in the second with doubleheader. Not big, but 2-0. I'll take a little flyer on Cincinnati. Stanky's leading St. Louis, who are all but dead, 4-2. So, there's not much, outside of the games that are just starting. There's really not many games. Atlanta 6-1 over Philadelphia, that'd be a bettable game, but who wants to lay, 4.5 runs with the Braves, right? So where do we – all of a sudden, by the way, the Braves are nothing but overs, 3-1 over, and they're 6-1 now in the 6th inning on pace for another over. Go figure.
Well, go figure, but this is what good baseball teams do, right? They heat up as we get closer to September. They're hitting home runs. And you bet Olsen hitting a home run. He's hitting home runs. Ozuna has been hitting home runs. Lineup's starting to wake up. And a lineup, I don't know, maybe they're feeling the heat of the Mets coming, behind them and just taking a different approach at bats, different things. Yeah, they're an over team. They were for 4.5 months, 5 months, an under. I don't know, 5 days a week. There's the division odds. I don't think it's in peril of the Phillies losing it. This would be a colossal collapse if the Phillies would lose the division. But you see how close those odds are right behind them. 11-1 and 1,300-1. Oh my. Okay. Yeah. So it's 13,000, but that's 130-1. So can the Mets catch the Braves?
Braves schedule, but they'd be 5 out. If they hold on to win tonight, 5 out. 5 games to make up in a month, though, is a lot. Like, you think, well, they got a month of baseball. Well, it's only 30. It's basically 30 games, 25, 30 games. That's, but could they? You look at their schedule. I tell you, it's not that bad, Dave, Atlanta. They get 2 more at Philadelphia, obviously tomorrow and on Sunday. They start a 3-game homestand against Colorado, 3 more against Toronto at home, 2 in Washington. They got a 4-game set at the Dodgers. Okay. Then Cincinnati, Miami, the Mets, but at home, and they always beat the Mets. And then 3 against Kansas City, which at that point, who knows what's is going to be on the line for the Royals last 3 games of the regular season, right? Maybe something, but that's a pretty easy schedule. I think they do. I don't think the Mets catch Atlanta. No, I think the Mets will be the odd man out. I think Atlanta. I don't know if Atlanta's really going to catch Philadelphia, but I think they make the playoffs.
We have the playoff picture is pretty clear. I think Milwaukee's winning the division in the Central. The
Right.
Phillies are winning the division in the East. The other three teams in the National League West, Dodgers, Padres, and Diamondbacks are all making it. So we're trying to find the sixth piece to the puzzle. You're saying it's Atlanta and the Mets aren't catching them, right? I'm just
Right.
trying to we're talking this through because, we're going to work on our S&W Corporation play of who we're taking. So if that, ends up like that, we'll be able to kind of know the route that the teams are going to have to take. And okay, I don't want to bury the Mets yet, and not just because, our producer Vinny has the graphics ready to go and is at the heartbeat. As soon as just like that, the Mets graphic pops up again.
Boom.
It's right there. It's really quick.
We got
And
photos of players and everything else.
it's
Normally,
ready
we just
to
get a
go.
logo, right? If it's the Phillies or Dodgers, it's just a logo. With the
Just
Mets,
a
we
logo.
got players, we got fans in the stands, we got everything.
This. I hope I'm loving what Lindor's doing. And if Shohei Ohtani wasn't superhuman, I think we could have a discussion about Lindor being a National League MVP. I mean, you look at the odds, and it's one of those ones that they're trying to tempt you. The book's trying to tempt you. You can't do it.
Think about this,
Shohei.
right? You got Milwaukee with 78 wins, Philly with 79, Dodgers with 80. One of those three teams is going to have to play San Diego, Arizona, or the Rays in a best of three. Good luck.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
All right, welcome in. It's InGame Live, prime time on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next hour and a half or so. We got the baseball, we got college football, little tennis. Keep an eye on with the major upset yesterday, and some golf stuff we'll go over as well as we enter round number 2, the FedEx Championship. But this hour, as we always do, little SGP same game parlay time. All righty, we're going to have some fun here. Kind of a strange line, but we're going to head out to Colorado where they got chaos going on. But on the baseball field, we got the Orioles and the Colorado Rockies Baltimore laying minus 140, 138, depending on where you do your shopping, which is a modest price for a team that's 10 games over 500 versus a team that's a gazillion games under 500 at home and on the road. So let's go Baltimore, minus 138. I'll take that when I put it in this afternoon against Colorado. We're going to use team runs over 5.5, minus 146. Could go 6.5, but I don't want to ask for 7 runs. That's a lot of runs. So we'll go a little bit lower, and we'll lay the odds at minus 146 over 5.5 runs. Colorado's got a lefty pitching, Austin Gomber. He stinks. So the Orioles' best right-handed bat, Adley Rutschman. We got to use him. Get a hit. Minus 390 you see there, which is just, guys hitting 260, and I got to lay 4-1 for him to get a hit. Holy fudge. And then we're going to use him to get an RBI at plus 115. And then here's the one that brings the odds up to plus 820. First pitch, bottom of the second, ball. Why? Because the dude pitching for Baltimore stinks as well, Suarez. Oh, no, he doesn't stink. He's actually halfway decent, but he walks a gazillion guys. He averages nearly a walk an inning. So I'm thinking meat of the Rockies lineup, bottom of the second. He's going to be extra careful. First pitch, ball. Plus 155 on that. So add it all up. Orioles, over Orioles, 5.5. Rutschman to get a hit in RBI. First pitch, bottom second, ball, plus 820. What do you think?
Wow. There's a lot going on there. That's a lot going on. Geez, let me tell you. The first pitch, bottom of second. Why did you – I was just getting used to you doing the third inning, and you changed it up and went to second inning. What are we doing?
Third inning in Colorado, as you pointed out, and correctly so, you could turn over the lineup. It's the third inning. You could have 5,000 runs. So I don't trust third inning, bottom of the lineup in Colorado. So I looked at the guy pitching Suarez for the Orioles, and like I said, he averages like a walk, almost, not quite, but almost like a walk an inning. So I'm thinking bottom of the second, meat of the order for Colorado. I don't want to use the first inning because I'm thinking first pitch he wants to, get a strike. But bottom of the second, he'll fool around a little bit. Pitch around the guys. Right. Ball. Plus 155 on that.
Yeah. That's
a big number.
Very interesting. Yeah. You were doing the third inning before, and you were doing strike. And now you're doing the second inning, and you're doing ball. This is why the books love you, Wetzel. Like you want to come in and use the ball and the strike and the parlays and this and that. Come on in. I feel like, again, I just kind of looked at the prices quick. I feel like you should be getting paid more. But if you want to do that one, good luck to you, sir. I don't know. I'm not crazy about two of those things. So, I mean, Baltimore's going to win. That's done. So, I don't know. I think like you've not jumped the shark. And I hate to use that term because me and you are the only people that even know what jump the shark means. So,
right.
Yeah, it is Fonzie. You're right, Vinny. But it means something and may have outlasted its life a little bit. You and this ball strike thing, I'm already going.
Well,
who does he like more in the Penn State game?
Here's the issue. And listen, they got me, right? This is, when I do all the others without that, it's like 3.5, maybe to 1. And, there's only so many things you can put in there, right? So when I put this one in there, boom, skyrockets to plus 8 and change.
Uh-huh.
So It's like, all right. The days of putting a guy in that you think's going to have a good day and get a double and an RBI, they correlated so much, it's not going up at all. It really isn't. I could take out that hit at minus 390, which is a ridiculous price, and it's only going to go down like 50 points. I mean, what's the, so you got to put in those goofy things, unfortunately.
Yeah. I just got a text from a dear friend. David Bednar will be removed from the closer's role for the short term for the Pirates.
Don't tell me Aroldis Chapman.
Could have done this 2 months ago. We'd be talking about the Pirates in the playoffs.
Instead,
Colby Dant next.
Bingo.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, checking out all the stuff. Little baseball, by the way. Mets trail the White Sox 1-0. Not a bad time to bet the Mets if you think that they're going to come back and win, as they probably will. Let's talk a little college football. We got 5-6 games on the slate tonight. Nothing great, but there's still, and obviously a slew tomorrow. So let's bring in our good buddy Colby Dant, host the College Experience podcast, breaking down all the games. So check out the College Experience podcast. What's going on, Colby? How are you tonight? And more importantly, what are you doing tonight with some of these goofy games that we have?
I'm doing great. Just the fact we have live bullets, but I mean, I'd be lying to you if I wasn't sweating out this Lehigh plus 34.
There you go.
There we go. Football season's back, baby.
Football's back.
Exactly. So, but for tonight, obviously there's only one game left on the board. There's two, I guess right now technically, but to me, the one late night on the farm, I actually like Stanford to stay in that game. I think Stanford is in year two of Troy Taylor's offense, and the fact that TCU was a mess defensively a season ago. Now they fired Joe Gillespie, brought in Andy Avalos, the former Boise State head coach. But can you really fix a defense that fast when you lose your best defensive player to the Oklahoma Sooners? And I just don't know that defense will be there yet. And I think another year in Taylor's system at Stanford, I think the offense will be flying in this game. Now on the other flip side of that is I don't know that Stanford can stop TCU, so I think you might want to jump on an over there. But I think Stanford is a team that could win that game. I think they're going to be fighting. I think they're going to be in that game. So I like taking the points there with the Cards.
All right. We can skip the Western Michigan-Wisconsin game because that's not really an important game as far as the Big Ten goes. I mean, we have trends that are available, and if the boys want to flash them up there, they can. But a Big Ten game, there it is. All right, Western Michigan 0-6 against the spread versus the Big Ten. Wisconsin laying the big number, 8-1-1. ATS last 10 versus the MAC. All right, we got that out of the way. I was going to ask you, about a game tomorrow, not Texas A&M and Notre Dame. That's a big game. Not Miami, Florida, not that one. No, there's one game. All right. Before I ask you the question, I got to get ready for this one. All right. Colby, West Virginia is hosting Penn State tomorrow. We've seen the line. There it is. Good job, boys. Excellent wipe right in there. -7.5. 50.5 the total. You got a live dog in this one? Is that what you're going to come on here and say, Cole? Go ahead. Go ahead. Your turn.
I think they're live, man. I think the fact that they're calling for rain only helps West Virginia. I think bringing in Andy Kotelnicki there, the OC from Kansas and Buffalo with Leipold, he likes a running quarterback. I don't know that Drew Aller is a running quarterback. And another thing is, Drew Aller's been awful on the road in his college career. He has to prove it to me. I know West Virginia's defense wasn't great last season, but before it really was a really top-notch defense. I think Neil Brown can get the defense muchly improved, this season. And then Pat McAfee's in town. They took off the whole county, called off school for 2 days or something. Look. They haven't played in Morgantown in 30 years. This used to be, Dave, this used to be an elite, fun rivalry, but they haven't played in Morgantown in a long, long time. And to me, Drew Aller's got to prove it. And Garrett Green on the other side, most underrated quarterback in the nation. You read any magazine, no one's got him all Big 12, but all he does is win. And he's a gritty quarterback. He'll run over someone for a first down. And another thing is Penn State ran it up on them last season. When they didn't need to, Penn State scored. I think Neil Brown remembered that. He said it in the post-game press conference last season, saying, we won't forget this. They got to come to Morgantown next season. So I understand Penn State's better on paper. But college football, you lose, you hit the road, especially in a hostile environment. And I think there's not a place in the Big Ten that is more hostile than this place.
You want to fire away, Dave? I'll give you a rebuttal. I'll give you my question if you want.
No.
Okay.
I have no rebuttal. Defense rests. I'm just going to let the game play tomorrow, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. I can't wait to watch it. I think as far as the total, Colby, what were you thinking? I think we're going to have points. I think we're going to be able – if West Virginia is able to run the ball 100%, they're going to win the game. It's that simple. If they are able to run the ball and convert third downs, not settle for field goals, get a couple touchdowns early. West Virginia first half is probably a really good play. But Penn State's going to win this game. How's it going to go total-wise?
I do lean – I see the rain is the only thing, and I feel like, that – I think it's kind of the opposite. I think West Virginia will be able to run the ball. I think if they can throw the ball – because I do believe Penn State is always, I know they have inexperienced corners, but I think they always teach them up so well. So like these next corners were highly recruited. I'm sure they'll be fine. And Garrett Green is a guy that takes a lot of chances. So that can get you, that you want a blueprint of how you lose that game. It's a pick six, and Penn State just runs away with it or something. But that's why I think the rain helps. I think you're going to be very conservative passing the football, but I also think you have to take a few shots. You have to take a few shots, and I think they can at least stay within that number. But I do think that I would not be surprised if West Virginia won the game outright with all this buzz and the fact that the game hasn't been played there in 30 years. And I think they're an underrated football team. They won 9 games last year.
How about Georgia laying 12.5 against Clemson? I can't remember the last time Dabo Swinney and Clemson were double-digit underdogs.
Yeah, well, they covered the last time they were double-digit underdogs. I think it was like 2012, I think, against Florida State. But he has a great record in general as an underdog, I believe.
Yep.
And I didn't fact-check this, but I read a tweet, which should always be a dangerous thing to quote, that he was 12-1 in the last 13 games as a dog. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little too many points. There's a little bit there's some question marks still. Like, we know Georgia's just recruited better than everybody for the most part, but you did lose Ladd McConkey, you did lose Brock Bowers, and you lost Ra Thomas from getting kicked off the team. Those were like their 3 top guys a season ago. So I think Clemson's defense is still going to be somewhat pretty good. I think they can present some challenges for Georgia. I'll take the points because another thing is you have Cade Klubnik in year 2 of Garrett Riley's offense. So I think he might feel a little bit more comfortable. And Georgia's D-line's not as good as it was a few years ago. So I'll take the points. I do think Georgia still wins the game. But another thing is I like the under in this one.
How about Sunday here in Vegas? USC out in your neck of the woods, coming here to play LSU. There's already a buzz here in town. There's parties, there's things. I'm going to be at the book. It's going to be crazy, a lot of fun, a lot of movement coming on SC. You like a side total in this one?
You know, what's crazy is these teams are the same, right? Both replacing star quarterbacks that, won Heisman trophies. Both couldn't stop anybody last season defensively. And both coaches kind of a little bit under fire here. What, you said it's at flat 3 right now. Is that what you saw last?
Oh, 4.5. 4.5.
Okay, I was about to say anything over a field goal. I like taking USC just because I think they're being a little bit underrated in the preseason. I like the hire of the defensive coordinator coming over from UCLA and D'Anton Lynn. And meanwhile, Brian Kelly, they bring in a new DC, but they still have that bad secondary. They didn't really hit the portal to address that. I feel like USC kind of hit the portal to bring in some guys that could make a difference. So I do lean Trojans with the points.
10 seconds. Better chance of upset. Florida over Miami, Notre Dame over Texas A&M.
Florida over Miami. Napier's 3-0 against top 15 teams at home.
Wow. All right. For the explanation, check out his podcast, the College Experience Podcast. Colby Dan joining us here on a Friday evening. Colby, great job, man. Appreciate it, and have some fun this weekend. Penn State.
Thank you, guys.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back. Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Oh, my mistake. We got Colby for 2 segments. How about that with all the games going on tomorrow? So, Cole, appreciate a couple more minutes with you. Let me throw a trend out. Again, it's funny because I saw that trend that you mentioned before. And, when you don't fact check things, you always kind of like, is this really true? So here's one that I found that if true, let me get your thoughts on how much you'd buy into this. Teams playing their first game against a team that played a game already are actually 38-19 against the spread since 2020. Boston College, Georgia State against Georgia Tech, Troy against Nevada, UCLA against Nevada, and then Arizona against New Mexico are some of those that would fall into that category. Do you buy that trend? Is that a fluke? Their thinking was that even though you've had a game experience, you think they would have the advantage. The other team does because now they got game film on you. I don't know if I saw that on Action Network. If I remembered, I would give them the credit. But what do you think about that trend? 38-19 against the spread. That's a pretty solid trend if it's true.
Yeah, no, and I think I saw the same stat. I think I saw someone tweet out the same stat. But I think it's all situational. I feel like a lot of times they'll do a big time matchup. You take some of the other ones we've seen in Ireland there, or one year we had Miami and Florida in the week 0 matchup. I think it was 2018 or 19, and the next week's an FCS. You know what I mean? So I feel like you call off the dogs, you play the backups. I think it's a lot. I would like to see the stat against Power 5 or against FBS teams, because I do think there's a case like what we just saw with you saw Hawaii play Delaware State. Hawaii played their whole roster. So I think, they clearly were keeping it vanilla, but I also think that, that's what those games are for. So if you're taking on Bethune-Cookman in game 2, you're going to play your backups majority of that game. And that's probably how you get down on that trend. So, but I'll tell you, I do like Hawaii and the points there against UCLA.
That's one. What about a couple other dogs? Because we were kind of commiserating after you found your way in today, and we have you on for another segment and the West Virginia slander and everything else, Penn State. But I heard you say Sam Houston State for one of them. There's some dogs on this board that I'm like, Colby got to have one or two that's kind of off people's radar. I love when you do this. Welcome back. College football is right. Give me one or two.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Sam Houston State, they were a very good defense a season ago. They couldn't score the ball, specifically the first 8 games of the season. They figured it out late, but they also brought in a quarterback transfer. They had a chance to really go out and get some offensive talent to mix in with a bunch of returning starters. They're taking on E.J. Warner, son of Kurt Warner, who transfers in from Temple to Rice. But, Rice made a bowl the past 2 years. I think there's a lot of momentum behind that program. I think they might look at Sam Houston as just, this is that team that was dead last, or, deep in the rear of the Conference USA. I think Sam Houston's better than what people think. They should have beat Liberty. They were at the 1 yard line at Liberty. I think Sam Houston's live in that game, and I think they're going to do a good job containing E.J. Warner and Rice. Another one that I don't really understand the line is Wyoming returns so much on the offense and defensive line, an area where Arizona State was terrible last season. And if anything, Arizona State's best defensive end plays at Colorado now in BJ Green. I think Wyoming should be the team that's favored in that matchup there. I understand the desert can get a little wacky at night there, but I think Wyoming is a better football team right now than Arizona State is.
All right. Talk to me off Northwestern. I know they're not playing at home. They're renovating their stadium, but they're playing down the street. So, versus a Miami of Ohio team. I got a Big Ten team at home that went 9-4 last year. A bunch of guys coming back, and they're only 3.5 over Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, I really had a hard time with this one. I ended up going Miami, Ohio, just because I kind of feel like Northwestern – they did win eight games last season, but they won so many close games. I just feel like they lost some guys. It's year 2 of Bronze era. They're switching offense and defensive coordinators, which I don't actually like. And then Brett Gabbert, who's been, I think he's a 6-year senior at the quarterback spot for Miami, Ohio. They won the MAC a season ago, and they beat Northwestern the last time they played them. But they have a bunch of veterans as well. So I just went, I think every game, I mean, you saw it. Northwestern took on Howard last season and was a 3-point game. So I'm getting more than a field goal with a veteran team that won the MAC. I'll take a shot on that.
UNLV is a really interesting team, and this is a really interesting line. There's a buzz in town for the first time in years that this team is going to go over their season win total, and it's not 2.5. I mean, are they a live dog? Is UNLV, can they beat Houston tomorrow?
I think they could. Now, I ended up siding with Houston, but I really think they could. And I think if you're UNLV, that hype is real. You look at the whole Mountain West, there's only 4 returning coaches. And Boise State's, already had a kind of we thought they're going to be starting this 5-star freshman transfer from USC. He got beat out in camp, which makes me question that maybe they missed on bringing him in. So I think they can, but I can tell you this, Willie Fritz, who's Houston's brand new head coach, I think he's one of the best coaches in America. And I think he's been underrated for about 15, 20 years. If you follow the FCS ranks, he was fantastic. The thing is, it's game 1, though. How fast can you get this thing going? I tend to think Houston in general is just a roster that's always talented, more talented than probably they win. So I ended up going with Houston because of Fritz, but I think this is like a 50-50 game. I could totally see UNLV getting this win.
All right, 30 seconds, A&M, 2.5 over Notre Dame.
Love A&M here. Look, I think the fact that Elko knows Riley Leonard, and then I think this is the best defensive line in football. They went out and got the Purdue transfer to come in that had 13 sacks a season ago. That was already an awesome defensive line. You added him. Nick Skirton's his name. I'm all over A&M minus the points there.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, he ticked you off by going with West Virginia over Penn State, and he's ticked me off with A&M now over my Fighting Irish. That's it. Get a good look at Colby Dant, because this will be the last time you see him on our show. Colby, good job. I'm just kidding, obviously.
See you in bowl season.
Take care. Appreciate it, guys.
See you in NBA season.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter, because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead, because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Hi, welcome in. It's InGame Live, prime time here on the Grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, as we wrap up hour number 1. Thanks again to Colby Dant joining us at the College Experience podcast. Check him out. Although we did get our revenge, I'll tell you in a second. Oh, this is going to sting. This you go ahead and pick against Notre Dame and Penn State. This is what happens to you. I'll tell you that in a bit. First up, though, little Black Cloud play of the day. Ah, yes. This is the segment where we give you the lock. There's no way in the world this cannot cash. We've had a pretty good run with this, that we really have. So tonight we're going to go out to San Francisco, where the 49er Giants are hosting the Miami Dolphin Marlins. And I'll tell you what, I joke about that because that's how bad San Francisco could beat Miami tonight. The Giants, obviously the better team. They're laying a monster minus 250, 260. Can't do that. So we're going to lay the run and a half. Why? Because Blake Snell is on the hill for San Francisco. Not only are the Giants 5-1 in Snell's last 6 starts, Miami is now 8-34, trend that we've brought up many times here, Dave. You know it, 8-34 against lefty starters. San Fran on the cusp of falling out of things. They can't poo-poo Siri. They need to win every single game, especially at home against Miami. Miami stinks on the road. The Giants are terrific at home. They got their best pitcher, theoretically, one of them, and it's a lefty. I mean, there's just if the betting gods are nice to us tonight, then San Francisco will win this one like 7-1, 7-2. Really, double, triple year play it.
Smooth sailing. Smooth sailing, Wetzel. I think this one will be fine. It should be. I've seen you take down bigger favorites. It's fine. I don't think we got to worry about it tonight. It's in Snell's hands. It's in your hands. It's in, SportsGrid's hands. I think we'll be fine. Everybody relax. Let's get Snell through, 6? I don't really want – I would love for him to pitch a complete game. And he's proven that he can do it because he threw the no-hitter and they left him in. If they have a big lead, they'll take him out. But let's get 7 innings pitched tonight from Snell. 4 hits allowed, somewhere like that. No runs, maybe 1, but leaves with a 6-1 lead, and we're good to go. This is done. I like it.
All right. Colby came on. Good guy. Picks against your Penn State Nittany Lions.
That's
then
fine.
Picks against my Fighting Irish and Notre Dame. So he's 0 for 2. So we have to extract revenge. And courtesy of the Army cadets, I think we did. He threw out there at the beginning that he stuck in there that he was on Lehigh tonight, plus 33.5 at Army, right?
He did say that, yes.
Army's got the ball, Dave, up 35-7 with 3 minutes left at their own 44. What could go wrong? 2 plays, 3 plays, 4 plays, 5 plays later, they have it 1st and goal at the Lehigh 3. 1st and goal now. 19 seconds left. Do they take a knee?
On the ball? Are they on the ball?
Or do they run another play? They ran another play.
Touchdown?
Touchdown, Army. They win. They win 42-7, and they cover the number. Wow.
Yeah, those late touchdowns to get the favorite home. I've seen staplers broken. I've seen pens thrown across rooms. I've seen chairs be slammed. Those are ones that I just know. I'm thinking of a guy right now, Tommy. He took it personal. I mean, like it was always the book's money, but we were vested in it by, moving it and being a risk analyst or, odds maker, bookmaker, whatever you want to call it. That's what we called it, but they don't call it that anymore. Trader is what the Euros have adapted that. Those late touchdowns by the favorite to cover in a situation where they're not supposed to cover. And they're really supposed to just sit on the ball. Yeah, those ones leave marks around risk rooms or in sports books and things like that. Usually you hear expletives, and it's one of those ones where you're like, did that really just happen? Now, you'll get something late, like something else. Like, I think it gives and takes, right? Like, it happens both ways. It doesn't all – everybody remembers their bad beats. It can be positive, can it?
I guess it is if you had Army. I'll tell you that.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go!
That's what champions do.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid on a Friday evening. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, college football, baseball. We'll check the tennis out here a little bit, little golf maybe as well. We're just discussing Army scoring a touchdown with 15 seconds left or so to win by 35, cover the 33.5. Is it right? Is it wrong? You sign on to play Lehigh. I actually did a play-by-play at Lehigh one time against Hofstra. So, but I will say this, right? Now, our guy Colby was on Lehigh's side, which is why we really dissected. We saw what happened with Rutgers last night. They kind of did the same thing, but that didn't pertain to the point spread, although it did push it over for some. But I will say this, Dave. If you're Army, right, aren't you held to a higher standard if you're Army? You're Army. You won convincingly. You're 35-7. Do you really need to rub it in the faces of these Lehigh kids? It's an engineering school. They're not there to play football. Take a knee at the 3-yard line, walk off the field, 35-7 winners. But when you got point spreads involved, this will be the talk tomorrow. I don't know how many people actually bet this game, but you talk about bad beats. The 4-letter network does their little segment. We do ours. This will be on there. Take a dig.
I can guarantee you this will be on there. I'm going to text Stanford Steve to make sure it's on there because he's a friend of mine as well. Yeah, I'll text him. Nobody's going to be talking about this. Would you relax, please? It's the first game of the college football season, and it's Lehigh and Army, and not to besmirch either team or school, but nobody's going to be talking about this except us right now or gamblers. And when you think about it, you want these kids to play. I'm thinking about it from a coaching standpoint. If I'm the coach and I got the backups in there, what am I going to do? Tell them sit on the ball? No, I'm not. I got to coach these kids. Maybe they're going to play next year, next week. I want them getting reps. Let's go. Run the 2-minute offense. Go down there and get a score. I'm not worried about Lehigh. They got paid to come to the game, and, they're playing too. So, I don't know. You could argue it's about, it's not for this team, but there's a lot of people that have been talking about, we talked about it today on Bostonian versus the Book, which will be on tonight after Morency's show. Do the coaches know the spreads, Wetzel? Do you think college coaches know the spreads?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. And I don't even have any qualms about it. I really don't. Listen, these boosters, right? They're not doing it for their, like, I'm reaching into my pocket and I went to FanDuel and bet on the game tonight. They're not doing it for themselves or the kid. They're doing it for the boosters. And these boosters, now, especially now with the NIL stuff going around, they're paying a lot of money into the program. And if you don't think for a second, like Oklahoma Temple tonight, right? Oklahoma just start the second half up 34-0. Now, the line before the game was 41.5. It's locked now, but I just saw it a moment ago up to 51.5. If you don't think for a second, they went to that Oklahoma head coach, Brent Venables, and said before the game, listen, I just gave your program $1 million, right? Yeah. If you're up 35-0, 40-0, second half, don't call up the dogs. Why not? Well, let's just say it's for your best interest to win by more than 41.5. I'm sure that happened, and I don't care. I mean, that only makes sense for them to do that. So
they're not getting. I mean, I don't think they're getting whispers in their ears like Johnny Whispers is going, "Hey, it's splashed
not during
all
the
over
game,
the place.
before the game, before the game."
Well, I mean, during the game, and a lot of games, maybe not in college.
Your
but
guy
I mean,
ran a fake. Your guy Dave ran a fake spike play last year to score another touchdown to cover this spread with like 3 minutes left. A fake spike or a fake kneel down, rather. Fake kneel down.
Fake kneel down. Yeah.
I mean,
Chris Mack came on earlier this week with us, and he calls him Jimmy Covers, for James Franklin. So he does. I mean, there's a stat that was out today, and Matt referenced it on BVB. The last 17 times that Penn State has been a favorite between 6 and 24 points, how many times do you think they covered of those 17?
12?
16, 0, and 1.
Wow.
All right. I know you're a trend guy. And Colby came on and said, West Virginia, take me home, country roads, all that other crap.
Great song.
Hold on. It is a great song. It is a great song. John Denver. I know you're a big John Denver fan. 100%. Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
I knew that. I knew that. But it's all over the place. I mean, it's on here on SportsGrid. We got a network based on sports and gambling and things like this. I'm not saying coaches watch TV. I don't know. I mean, if they watch the SportsGrid, thank you for being here. But it's everywhere. They 100% know the spreads. Like, you're the exception if you don't. And that's okay. Like, you go, there's times where they go, they get asked in a press conference, you guys know you're 12-point dogs. Really? We're 12-point dogs. Okay. So they might use that. I don't know what happens at the end of games. I think it all evens out. I mean, you used to have people in the sports book say, oh, you guys, the league works with you. You guys fix the games too. No, nobody's fixing games, all this other stuff. Just relax. All that being said, I still think Penn State's going to cover tomorrow.
You know why I like Penn State? Although I like West Virginia. But you know why I like Penn State? Because I haven't heard one person outside of yourself say they like Penn State. Like, Penn State is a classic opposite pick tomorrow. And while the line did drop, from like 9.5 or so, you see now 7.5. But nobody, not one person have I heard say Mark Lawrence, Colby, Joe Schmo, my neighbor, they all like West Virginia. You watch Penn State win by double digits tomorrow. May take them a little struggle. It won't be a blowout, I don't think, but you watch.
What surprises you more? Penn State double-digit win or West Virginia outright win?
West Virginia outright win. I don't think they win. I think they cover, but they don't. Those schools don't. We talked about this, right? Ohio State and Michigan, when it's in its heyday as it is right now, and Penn State, they don't lose to these other schools. These other schools will go 8-4, maybe even 9-3. But Iowa doesn't beat Michigan. Iowa doesn't beat Ohio State. Iowa's not going to beat Penn State. The upper echelon teams of the Big Ten separate themselves, I think.
Well, if you look at the odds to win the Big Ten, you see that they're so front loaded at the top. here you have it. Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Michigan, wow, USC, then Iowa. Did you hear Colby was talking about Iowa making a playoff? You think Iowa can make a playoff? Like, you see their schedule? They're slated to go probably 9-3, but like they have potential to go 11-1, and they can't make the playoff, can they? Really?
Boy, they better improve on their quarterback play from last year. I'll tell you that. Their team total, depending on where you do your shopping, is either 8.5 or I saw it at 8 minus 140 at one site. I think I don't think they're going to go 7-5. You may maybe get a push, but boy, they open up with Illinois State, one AA team. You're going to beat them. You got Iowa State. That's a tough game, rival obviously. Then Troy at home, you should win that. You really only have one. Well, not only, like you do. You only have one ranked team right now on their schedule. That's Ohio State. Right. So they're going to lose there. Yeah. But they avoided Michigan. They avoided Oregon. They avoided your guys, Penn State. I mean that's doesn't happen this year. One thing about Iowa, I will say though, Dave, is they're going to have to win the division. With that schedule, I don't think they would, if they lost the Big Ten championship, would get in.
Right.
If they had like 2 losses.
Yeah. Do the Salukis play tomorrow? They don't play tomorrow, do they?
I
don't know.
Yes,
I thought
BYU.
You might have
They're only a 2-touchdown underdog against BYU on the road.
Oh my.
Yeah. What that? Respect for my Salukis. Definitely. Okay. Yeah, I do. I think.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, checking out some action. Yes, a little baseball action. I was jumping the gun there, but okay. What does that mean? I'm not sure.
Well, that means it's time to go to the Mets graphic package. That's exactly what that means because the Mets, right? The New York Mets are up 4-1, just like that. It happens fast, and we're going to be a Mets show the rest of the way. All right, we'll make that deal. at least while we're all together doing this, that as the Mets continue to win or something happens in the Mets, we won't hear a crack of the bat. We'll hear a goal horn, and we'll crank it up, and then we'll get this entire package. Lindor, Polar Bear, everybody. I mean, even find Edwin Diaz in there. This is outstanding.
Wow.
Mets lead 4-1. Baseball betting is really simple. You take the Padres tonight. You take, let's see, who else? The Guardians
Giants.
are back up over the Pirates. The who?
Giants, San Francisco.
Well, that's tonight. I'm talking about the in-game
Yeah.
stuff. All the favorites
okay,
are winning. Cubs are beating the Nationals.
Right.
Brewers are up. Brewers are up 2 touchdowns on the Reds, 14-0. Oh, this is a piece of cake. I mean, what's going on? Even the Red Sox are winning tonight. Oh my!
Whoa, wait. What do you mean even? What's with the even? Even the Red Sox are winning tonight? Like it's a surprise Boston is winning?
Well, I mean, they weren't winning before. I mean, it's extra innings now, and they're up 7-4. That game's over. Yeah, I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, baseball season's done in Pittsburgh. Baseball season's done in Boston too, right? Like, I mean, you're packing it in. It's done.
Well, you know what? You have the Steelers to look forward to. The Red Sox have the New England Patriots to look forward to. So they may be holding on. They may be holding on until the NBA starts. Okay, we push this thing, at least 2 weeks into September, and then we can kind of look at the NBA Celtics over the horizon. So
okay, all right,
but that's okay. Stanky's up 4-3 over the Cardinals. How does this PP not get a hit? Mets, right? You can even do it now if you want. Mets laying 9-1, up 4-1, and then San Francisco later on tonight. That brings that parlay to -195, the PP parlay of the day, public parlay.
Wow. Well, I mean, why don't you throw the Mariners in there later too, right? If you need another late game sweat,
yeah,
right?
They got
Mariners
this kid pitching from Italy.
Right?
Yeah,
Italy
making his debut.
Really?
Italy, first pitcher ever born in Italy to pitch in the majors.
For the Angels.
For the Angels. For anybody, but yeah, he's pitching for the Angels tonight.
No, but he's pitching for the Angels tonight. Okay. How do you say his name?
Over-under of 8.5. Now, he was mediocre in the minors. He wasn't great. But when's the last time we saw an over-under of 8.5 pre-game with the Seattle Mariners?
Right. I don't know. It's been a while. Aldegari? Aldegari? Yeah, that's his name. Against Kirby. Wow. Oh, man. I don't know. That seems like a that's a Mariners play. Yeah, that's a Mariners play. Get you to even money. Get you to about even money, right? If you throw them in there. I think so. I think if you throw the Mariners in, it should get you about
plus
even.
134 even.
Oh, hello.
Whoa.
I know you like plus money.
I like plus money.
Okay.
That's not bad.
All right.
But I have seen, right? How many times have we seen these pitchers that they don't have a book on, kind of like that, college football thing? They don't have a book on this dude. They come in, he throws, 7 shutout innings or 6 shutout innings, and the goofy Mariners who couldn't hit their way out of a paper bag, end up losing 3-2. And this guy looks like he's the greatest thing since Cy Young. So
very true. Very true.
I'd be a little careful.
Yeah, got to worry about that. That's September baseball. And if you get I wish I could remember his name. Not last year, the year before, I had done some stuff on MLB, and so I did some research on pitchers coming up. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you what, the prices on this kid that came up for Texas were so wrong, and he ended up winning 5 starts in a row to the point where someone sent me a Texas Ranger hat and T-shirt because they won so much money that every time, because I mentioned him and I said, bet him again. He won his first 5 starts. Texas won the first 5 starts he made. And odds makers are guessing in September. So that's really interesting. Let's transition quick because we got a great segment coming up next segment. Did you look at the golf at all? I mean, Cam came on yesterday and talked about the golf with us and stuff. Did you take a peek at the golf? Because it was over as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Tighten it up a little bit today.
I didn't look completely today. All I saw was Scheffler I got the best golfer in the world, and you're giving me a 2-shot lead. I really didn't like that play, but it's like, to me, that's halfway decent. But it did tighten up a little bit. Scheffler's got a 4-shot lead at 21 under par over Colin Morikawa, and Schauffele is 16 under. So,
and it's now a 3-horse race officially, but it's not quite Secretariat. It was Secretariat. And again, for those of you that don't know, I'm not a horse guy, but I use a lot of horse references. Secretariat was, won by great lengths at the Belmont, won the Triple Crown, all this other stuff. Scheffler's out there. Let's see, 21, 17, and 16. After that, it's 12 under for Clark and Scott and Tagala. So, yeah, it's a 3-horse race, and the other 2 are still running. So, we'll have on Cam and try to make heads or tails of this a little bit later. But I'll tell you what, this is the end of the golf season, and I'm going to be in a sports book all weekend. I won't see the golf on one screen. There's not even going to be a guy coming up to the counter, Wetzel, and said, "Hey,
Ryder Cup even
put on." No,
Ryder
when
Cup,
that happens,
President's Cup, or all those goofy things that they have still.
What do you mean goofy? That's great golf. That's fun golf. You don't like those?
No, I don't.
Why?
You know why? Because I'm not going to get caught up over, wrap it up in red, white, and blue, and all of a sudden I care. It's kind of like the Olympics. Do I really care about the gymnastics or air rifle shooting? No. All of a sudden it's in the Olympics, red, white, and blue. I'm supposed to care. Same thing with golf. Golf, I care about. It's an individual sport. So no, not really.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Ah, yeah, LLs know what that music means. Time to get out the pad and pencils and get set for the fastest and, more importantly, most profitable 5 minutes in television, Opposite Picks. Yes. What are Opposite Picks, you newbies ask? Well, we give you 7 games, 7,000 reasons why we like one team, and then we go opposite. Why? Because despite all the stats, trends, injury reports, weather reports, systems, and everything else, nobody beats the boys in Vegas. Been doing this for 20 years, and I've had a winning record going opposite every year. Kid you not, except one, and even that was only one game over 500. So here we go. College football is here. The first of my 7-pack of games tonight. We're going to go Pittsburgh laying 23.5 against god-awful Kent State. Love Pittsburgh. You know, one of the beauties of the return of college football is the return of betting against Kent State. Golden Flashes, a money-burning 1-17 straight up, 4-13-1 against the spread as road dogs since 2020. Oh, by the way, they're also 0-7 straight up and against the spread last 7 years in their season openers. Oh, by the way, Pittsburgh 6-0 straight up in this series with the average margin of victory being 29. Love laying only 23.5 with Pittsburgh. Give me Kent State plus the 23.5. Pick number 2, Clemson, getting 12.5 versus Georgia. Preseason number ones like Georgia, pretty good, 33-0 straight up, 19-8-1 against the spread in their season openers. But that's against patsies. They don't generally open up with the likes of Clemson like they're doing this year, as Georgia is. Dogs in this series, 12-4 against the spread, including Clemson at 6-3 against the spread. Clemson 12-1 against the spread under Dabo Swinney as a 5-point underdog or more. Love Clemson getting double digits. Yeah, give me Georgia minus the 12.5. Pick number 3, Georgia State plus 20.5 versus Georgia Tech. A huge letdown spot for Tech here, right? After coming off that monster upset win over Florida State last week. How do you go from being a double-digit dog against Florida State one week to a double-digit favorite the next week against Georgia State? What is a Georgia State? Tech, by the way, 1-4 against the spread as favorites under head coach Brent Key. Absolutely love Georgia State to maybe win outright. Yeah, give me Georgia Tech minus 20.5. Pick number 4, West Virginia plus 8 versus Penn State. What? Yes. West Virginia, get a load of these numbers. 19-1 straight up their last 20 home games. And now I'm getting over a touchdown with the points. Everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. I get that of Penn State, but you know what? West Virginia, 9-4 last year. Bulk of their starters return, including their quarterback, Garrett Green. Tough to win in Morgantown, let alone cover more than a touchdown. Love getting 8 here. Give me Penn State minus the 8.
Got one right. Keep it going.
Florida plus 2.5 versus Miami. Who's Miami to be laying almost a field goal on the road? Are you kidding me? Again, everyone jumping on the Canes bandwagon with this quarterback for Washington State, Cam Ward, who was pretty good last year, I admit that. But Florida, 41-1-2 straight up in their season openers the last 44 seasons. Head coach Billy Napier, 11-2 against the spread as 5-point underdogs or less. Florida wins outright. Give me Miami minus the 2.5.
The U is on fire.
The Northwestern laying 3 against Miami of Ohio. I'll keep this simple, folks. I can get a Big Ten team at home against a MAC team and only lay 3.5. Northwestern 9-4 last year, 10-2 against the spread. Love Northwestern here. Give me Miami O plus the 3. Pick number 7, Eastern Michigan plus 2.5 at UMass. What in good God's name is UMass doing as a favorite? Are you kidding me? UMass won 2 games last year in Division I. They're 5-46 over the last 5 years, and they're favorites. They've been favored 1 time the last 5 years. Last year, they lost by double digits against UConn, for goodness sakes. You'd have to be the biggest bird brain, butthead, meathead, moron, simpleton, slappy, dunce, klutz, clown, jerk, jackass in the world to put American money on UMass as a favorite. Give me UMass. Minus the 2.5. Opposite picks. Week number 1.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Hi, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid on a fabulous Friday. Opposite picks, that's a lot of fun, and we'll do that every Friday, 9:24, that segment Eastern time here on the grid. So Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. We got football, college football, couple of games. We got baseball stuff, and we got golf as well. So let's bring in our golfing guru, Mr. Cam Stewart, who takes over top of the hour with George Kurtz. I understand tonight. No Gabe.
Yeah.
So what's going on,
Yeah.
Cam? How are you tonight?
Yeah, Morenzi's, I saw tweeting from the wine bar, already ready to
I saw
rock,
that.
Dave. You got go see him later on tonight. Get fired up. Yeah, he's getting in Vegas for the contest and to meet some friends and to go to that USC LSU game too. Wow, Temple's got a first down in this game, and they're moving the ball. That's interesting. But golf, let's talk about it right now. The guy who's made the biggest move is the guy that we took live, Colin Morikawa. He started this thing like at four under, and Scheffler was 10. Right now, Scheffler's 21 and he's 17. So he's made up 2 strokes. I told you guys this format, it's just so hard to catch the leading guy. But Xander still 5 back. I got to tell you, like when you look at the outright markets, Scotty Scheffler's minus 335 to win, guys. Like that's on my books. Say 340 here. So I'm going to tell you, literally, the board's kind of right. Unless somebody goes absolutely bananas, there's 4 guys that can win this tournament. I took Morikawa live. Wyndham Clark might be live. Tagala's made a nice move too. So I'm not going to say 4. So I think Burns, I have him, but 9's too far back in 2 rounds. So I would say craziness, the 12s. But I'm telling you, watching Colin Morikawa play golf, guys, that's the pick, in my opinion. I'm just going to say, I know he's let us down a lot of seconds. He's one of the only guys in the FedEx Cup with like more top 5s. He didn't win a tournament, but 2nd, 3rd, 4th. But I'm watching his putting this week, guys, and it's fantastic. Even the announcers, Brad Faxon, who used to be on our show a long time ago with Gabe, legendary putter. You guys know that. Like, he's just one of the best putters ever in the history of the PGA Tour. And he's saying, I like what I see from Colin this week. He's flowing. He looks a lot more comfortable over the ball. So I'll tell you guys something. If you're looking for a number, but I'll tell you, it's funny. I was on a couple other shows, Dave and Scott, and they're like, even guys who are hardcore gamblers, they're like, we're not even betting this tournament. You know me, I will not ever not bet something, but it's actually one of the worst bettable tournaments due to the format that it's set up, right? Like, like Scotty Scheffler, he's already there. even if he has a bad round, is really hard to catch, and we only have 2 rounds left. But I'm going to say Colin Morikawa is a guy that can do it, guys. That's the horse I would ride.
Yep. We got to ride another horse tomorrow.
Yep.
College football.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's at Woodbine, too. I got to do the show with Ranieri. I go to the track, and I fade that horse so hard to make everybody else go up. Hey, Swifties, bet the horse so we can bet other horses.
We'll worry about that one. But no, the horse tomorrow that everybody's backing, and Wetzel said it out loud. We had Colby Dant on. I was on Game Time Decisions with Casey. She's on it. Everybody's on it. I'm wearing the hat, Cam. I know you know, right? Like Penn State's playing West Virginia.
Yeah.
You got an opinion on that game? Because I haven't heard anyone other than myself say Penn State is going to win and cover. Now, I'm biased. It's nighttime in Pittsburgh behind me, and I went to Penn State. But, man, oh, man, it smells like a public dog to me, Cam. What say you, Penn State, West Virginia?
Excellent point, Dave. And that's exactly it. You know what? I got one bet at West Virginia at a way better number. Now we're down to 7.5 out there. Dave, I liked West Virginia, but I know the way these things work. I was on a public dog last night with Sacramento State in that game. They were crushing early. They fell back, and San Jose State won the game. Public dogs, I'm telling you, they win like never. Like that. It's just one of the best things in gambling. I don't care. Like, you don't even look at the teams. You could blindly bet them, and you'll make money. Dave, I was on the wrong side, but we hit Minnesota, the under, all the other games. North Dakota State covered against Colorado. It was a great night, but that was the last game of the night. It bit me. I liked West Virginia early, and now I'm thinking this thing gets down to 7. Penn State, they blew them out last year too. Me and Morency talked about that game. I know McAfee and those guys are all going to, he went to West Virginia. It's going to be a big party up there, but I'm telling you, man. Like Penn State's their defense is lethal. I originally liked the Mountaineers, Scott. I don't know how you feel. Dave's onto something here because I don't know anybody that likes. Actually, Gabe told me he likes Penn State, and I told him I originally like West Virginia, and I'm kind of flip flopping. Sorry, I do like other dogs, but this is one I'm kind of scared of.
Yeah. How about this one? How much credence, both of you guys, do you put into North Dakota State's performance last night against Colorado, which was pretty good? Now you got South Dakota State, which is like the 5-time 1AA, if you will, champion. So a little bit better. They're getting 9. Last time I saw, they're getting 9.5 at Oklahoma State. Okie State may be a little better than Colorado, but boy, I tell you what, if North Dakota State can hang with Colorado, I'm thinking South Dakota State can do the same.
You know what, Scott? It's actually, and a lot of things, in opposite to the other game, I don't hear a lot of people talking about the Jackrabbits. I hear people talking about how good Oklahoma State's going to be this year. You know what? I'm looking at that spread going, that dog is very interesting to me. I might be hopping along with the Jackrabbits 9.5. Wetzel, I think you're onto something. They could have made that line, I think, 10, 10.5 at 11, and people would still bet the Pokes. But I'll tell you, I'm taking the Jackrabbits in that spot. Good call by you, Wetzel. That's a game that kind of fell under the radar, and that South Dakota State team is very, very good. Let's remember, Sacramento State is like, they're not even close to being a good FBS team, and they were beating San Jose State. I know San Jose State's not a juggernaut, but they're not even close to the level of North Dakota State and South Dakota State. You know what I'm saying? And they hung and were leading in that game till late. So these FBS schools are actually really, really good. So I like Wetzel's opinion, Dave. That's a dog that's going to be on my card. Good call, Scott.
How about Sunday night? I mean, Gabe's going to be here. He's going to be wound up later. I mean, if he texts me, I don't know if I'm ready to be hanging with Morency.
No, you got to catch Gabe early. There's a rule, Sharapan. Remember the night we lost the passport and I'm playing like, dude, I saved the guy's life. I like literally, like, it's like, I didn't even like, I go, dude, if I'm not here and I'm not Canadian, there's nobody other Canadians here. You're going to be stuck in California for a week trying to fill the documents out and talking to Trudeau. Like, you know what I mean? And the Americans like, well, I don't know, man. We're going to put you somewhere, but not in a cushy hotel. Anyway,
LSU,
Dave,
USC.
Yes.
USC a live dog because I'm also listening, talking. A lot of people are on this one. That doesn't mean it doesn't get there, but I feel like either the odds makers made a mistake and made the number too high, or we're missing something because this is really feeling like USC nonstop.
I got to tell you, too, I don't know anybody that's talked about the under in this game. Actually, I think the total's more volatile. People are like, oh, it's going to be a track meet, 80 points. I'm not sure about that. I think the defenses are going to play a little bit better. You need a clean ride to get to 65. I know these teams can score, Dave, but I will tell you this. LSU in opening games have been deplorable. I'm getting 4.5 with USC. I think they still have some good guys in that team. I lean that way now. That's a game that I'm looking at. I haven't smashed that game yet. I'm going to go dig deeper, take a look at money. But you know what? I like Texas A&M over Notre Dame in a premier game. I think that's the spot for Texas A&M. No more Dabo. No, sorry, not Dabo Sweeney. Jimbo Fisher. I watched this guy screw up games against Alabama, Ole Miss, like very good teams. And now we have a real competent coaching staff in there. I don't know how you feel, Scott, but Notre Dame, big public team. Everybody, and I love Carver. Everybody who's Catholic and Irish love the Irish. But I'll tell you this, the Aggies, this is time. This is time for them to live up to the potential of their program and get it done and beat Notre Dame. It's 3, Dave. I don't know if you like money line or whatever. Yes, and I'm on the D-backs tonight, plus 1.5 and money line. Thank you, Dave. And a parlay, Seattle, D-backs. Yeah. Oh, man, I'm bit. I'm poisonous. D-backs, Seattle, and San Francisco. So 2 favorites and a dog in the parlay.
What do you think of the Black Cloud play of the night? We have a Black Cloud play of the night.
Guys, Frank Font,
we got to pull it up before camp gets out of here.
It'll be San Francisco.
This is a good thing. Yeah,
we
will find it. Yeah.
I'm running out of time.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
I told you, Wetzel. I knew it'd be San Francisco.
Gotta be,
I was
right?
Say -1.5. Love you, Wetzel. We just call it the top corner. Love you guys. You guys are the best.
That's it. Cam, great job, Cam. Cam and George Kurtz,
buddy.
top of the hour.
See me at 10. I'm with Kurtz.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team champions.
Team golf is back. Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel and Dave Sharapan. Thanks again, Cam Stewart, joining us. Top of the hour, him and George Kurtz over the next 3 right here on SportsGrid radio and TV, as a matter of fact. So one WNBA game as we continue to look at the games. Caitlin Clark, 31 points tonight as Indiana beat Chicago 100-81. I think that's her career high. I don't think she's hit 30 before. I know there were some goofy props at the beginning of the year, Dave, like she was going to score 40 or 50 or get like 10 threes in a game. I don't think she's going to hit any of those, but she has picked up the scoring quite a bit of late. Not good enough to make the Olympic team, Deuce Staley. No. But good enough to lead Indiana to the postseason. That is for sure. So Fever win 100-81. I think the fever, pardon the pun, has kind of like subsided on Caitlin Clark. I think they realize, okay, you know what? She's not going to be Superman. She's not scoring 50 points a game like people made it out to be. Good player, obviously, well, one of the best, but not what I think they were actually hoping.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it.
But still,
I'm watching the baseball. The Pirates bullpen just gave up another 2 runs. It's now 10-7. It's a football game essentially, and really interestingly. That Naylor, he got the single to knock in the run, and wow, he turned his knee, ankle, I don't know what it was, but he rolled his ankle trying to get out of the batter's box. Not good for the Guardians. I think they're walking him off the field here. You got to pay attention to these baseball games for the contending teams to try to figure out the position that we're going to take. If he's not right, I think we might be taking Cleveland off the list. That's going to be a big bat to replace. So for our futures parlay.
By the way, not to like rub salt in the wound, but the Pittsburgh Pirates have given up so far, because it's only bottom of the 8th, and the Pirates got the runners on first and third. The Pittsburgh Pirates have given up 64 runs in their last 6 games combined. 10 tonight, 14 2 nights ago, because they were up yesterday, 9 the night before that, 18 the night before that, somehow or another only 3 in a win against the Cubs 4-3, and then 10 before that. Holy fudge.
Yeah.
Oh,
you said you weren't rubbing it.
64 runs in 6 games, Dave, and it's not even over yet.
It's not over yet. Yeah, that sounded like rubbing salt in the wound. You said you weren't rubbing salt. That like my earpiece is still working. I can hear you. I see you. I know what rubbing the salt in the wound feels like, sounds like, and that sounded like you just did that exact thing. Just make it stop. Just make it stop. Bet against it. The Whites,
go at least, right?
It's one of these
favorite in the over.
Yeah, dear friend of ours who watches the show, Shrew. He watches the show with his wife. She's big fans. She enjoys both of us, but she watches the show with them. And him and the Bomber. The Bomber sent me a text. Another guy called Blue Spader said, and they both said it. The Pirates have become the White Sox with the bullpen.
Oh, no.
An automatic. And that was a low blow.
That's a low blow.
That was a low blow. But it's a bet against. It's a betting opportunity. We talked about it all summer, right? Where you bet against the bullpen when they come in. It's the White Sox, and it's definitely the Pirates now.
Second 5. The White Sox, Pirates, and Angels, to me, are the automatic bet against. Figure it out, whether it's team total, the other team, the bullpen, whatever. So you could literally bet second 5 to start the game. So, yeah.
Oh, you would rather bet that pregame?
Yeah.
Wow.
You probably get a better number, right?
Well, maybe.
If the over-under on the game is 8.5, you probably get 4, right? 4.5 for ratings 6 through 9. The only problem is you might not bat in the bottom of the 9th.
Right. You got to be careful
if you got the home team.
I would prefer to watch the game and get a feel for it. That's why I love this show and I love the in-game wagering stuff. It just gives you a little more. I don't want to say control, because you don't really have control over anything other than when you submit the bet. Like after that, it's out of your control, despite the fact that what some people might tell you. Can we swing through the baseball scores here real quick? I just looked down. I got the Padres up 10-5 in the bottom of the 8th. The A's are up 4-1 against Texas. We had talked about that one. Astros and Royals are locked in
Good game.
Really good baseball game. And I don't want to say it, but there might be a reason why to watch that one, if you know what I'm saying. They haven't had any other guys on base. The Royals have not had guys on base. Mets 4-1 over the White Sox. We can't play the goal horn or show the graphics package because they have not scored. Nope, I guess they can. So that's good. The Mets are winning 4-1. You have the graphics package. I was ready for only when they scored, but that's good. Twins 2-0 over the Blue Jays. Orioles 3-2 over the Rockies. The Mariners are already up 2-0 against the Angels. Top of the first, bases loaded, 2 out. All we need left is the Giants. Get that one home. Yeah. Although
Framber Valdez, 98 pitches through 7.
Oh, they're going to pull him out. They're not going to leave him in. Are they going to leave him in?
You know, it's only 1-0, so it's not like they could pull him saying, all right, we got a 5-0 lead. We're going to win anyway. So, you know what? I mean, 1-0 game, 98 pitches. I would think he'd get – see, the problem with giving him one more, Dave, is what if he goes to 108, we'll say. Now he's only got one more inning. Now it's like, well, we can't pull him after 8. You know, we'll throw him out there for the 9. Now all of a sudden he's up to 120. So it goes from like 98 to 120. Are you comfortable with that?
No, I'm not. No, because Houston's going to need him in the playoffs. Like
right.
It's bigger than a no-hitter. Although he took a no-hitter at 8 2/3. What, two starts ago? Remember?
A couple starts ago.
This guy's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's amazing. Does he get the no-no? Find out when we come back.
Mike Tomlin could have very easily put this to rest and say that, Russell Wilson is the starting quarterback.
Mike Tomlin's going to look at, hey, Russell Wilson led that clean drive. I think that separates him enough to give him the starting job. But I think you're right that the leash is going to be pretty short. And if Russell Wilson doesn't look good, Steelers fans pretty quickly are going to be calling for Justin Fields because of his scrambling ability.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The leftover language would be the million shy of what Jefferson makes Jefferson a better player. If you want to believe that, I'm not sure I buy that he's that much better than CeeDee Lamb.
Tony Pollard's gone. He's now with the Titans. I was with the Titans a couple weeks ago. He'll be their starting running back there. They're going a different direction in Dallas, but it's all about CeeDee Lamb right now, the first of the other deals that they have to get done.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
If the U.S. gets to a bad start and they're down or close, I may double down on the second quarter because I know that that's when Steve Kerr is going to want to either A, if it's close, open it up. If they're losing, you got to get the lead because you don't want teams like it was in South Sudan that believe that they can win.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship. The golf has been mesmerizing. They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, welcome back to InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Kind of a black cloud. We bring it up, and Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, and the Astros took Framber Valdez out of the game.
It's the right move.
Yeah. You know, it's weird, Dave. I would say real quickly. Like, I'm a big keep the guy in. And what's the difference? 98 pitches, 115 pitches. Come on, be a man, right? The old days, they would have pitched until their arm fell off. But There's so many examples of guys throwing 125 or so pitches and just never being the same or not the same for the rest of the year. There really is something about throwing more than like 105, 106, 7 pitches, and with 2 innings left, I don't like it, but I do. I understand it.
I think it's a right move. I would be more apt to letting him pitch if it was a team that has no postseason chances. Like, they let Snell go. The Giants did but he didn't have as many pitches. So, yeah, I'm good with look, we got bigger aspirations. We got bigger goals, and there's going to be other opportunities for you. I mean, you just did it 2 weeks ago. He took a no-hitter into 8 2/3 and gave up a home run to Corey Seager against Texas. So, yeah, I'm good with it. That's fine. Just let it go. What are you most looking forward to tomorrow? I mean, you are doing InGame Live tomorrow.
Yep.
You'll be on, but you always say you prefer NFL, but it's a good card tomorrow, college football. So, in addition to doing the show, what are you looking forward to most tomorrow?
Yeah, I think they segmented it out, right? They did the big game at 12 o'clock, 2 of them really, Penn State, West Virginia, but certainly, Georgia, Clemson. Then you wait to 3:30, and you got Florida State, Miami. Then you get the monster one, Notre Dame at 7:30. So they situated it the right way. Being an Irish fan, Notre Dame and Texas A&M would be the one. You look at Notre Dame's schedule. There's not much on there. They only got 1 ranked game right now anyway. Obviously, things can change, USC. So it's almost like they have to win. Although I do believe an 11-1 Notre Dame team would get into the postseason. But that's a big – I want to see that. And I think Georgia – I've said it. I think Georgia's going to struggle this year. Struggle Georgia's-wise. They're not like 6-6. But I think they're going to lose a couple of games, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, and this is one of them. I want to see Clemson – knock off Georgia.
Okay.
What about you?
The whole day tomorrow is going to be determined by the Penn State game. That's the whole day. And out west, this is breakfast. I mean, my day's going to be determined by lunch.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, we're up early. Sports books are buzzing. It's such a fun weekend, opening weekend of college football in the book, because and golf did us all a favor. I mean, it's kind of on the back burner. Baseball is what it is. Tomorrow, it all gets set aside. Even the horse guys. Everybody's looking to bet horses. Cam said Taylor Swift there's a horse named Travis Kelce, I think, running in a race at Woodbine tomorrow. That's our horse. So, yeah, there's something for everybody tomorrow. And the college football day starts as the sun's coming up here in Vegas. There's people waiting to, get to the window, get a seat in the book, watch football all day, starting at breakfast, lunchtime. You get Miami and Florida, and then you get, an early dinner. You get Notre Dame and Texas A&M, and then you get a late night snack. You get Hawaii and UCLA. I mean, that's a little bit later, but I think the last game on the board is Fresno State, Michigan. No, there's one late game. Oh, Wyoming, Arizona State. There you go. New Mexico and Arizona. No more Pac-12 after dark. It's going to be Big 12 after dark. Look at that money line. 29.5 and 58.5. What the?
No.
I don't like those games. I don't like those games.
Yeah. They're tough to bet. They're that's one of those where you find out about the head coach. You make little notes. Certain head coaches will do Greg Schiano of the world, Army of the world. They'll do their due diligence to go over that number. Give me one, dare I say it, one lock for tomorrow that you really like.
What are you talking about? I mean, Penn State's going to cover.
Well,
I don't know how to say it anymore.
Besides Penn State.
That's the game that's going to win.
Maybe I got to put it in a parlay. All right, you already know Penn State's covering. Give me
Sunday, take LSU.
Right.
The Mets. How could you not pick the Mets? That's the one. Just the Mets today, the Mets tomorrow, and the Mets on Sunday. Roll it over against the White Sox. Good job, Vinny. Good job, Preston. Wetzel, I love doing this show with you. Have a good night.
You got it, man. Gabe and Cam coming up next. Cam and George.